Hey there, everyone. This is the first episode for my tarot podcast, and I am Sasha Noyan, and I want to start by maybe talking a little bit about myself and how I started doing tarot readings. Um, I did not really have anyone in my immediate family or among my friends when I was growing up who was interested in tarot or any kind of paganism or occult things or anything like that. So I remember I was working at a hotel as a receptionist, and there was this French tourist, an older guy. And every time he walked through the door and he came to the reception desk, he had this, deck of cards that he was shuffling. And I noticed, looking at the pictures on the cards, I noticed that they weren't really normal playing cards. They were something else. And obviously, I didn't know back then, what tarot was or how many different types of cards were out there, like Lenormand or, oracle cards or anything like that. So I think I was about 18 or 19 years old. And so one day I got very curious and asked him, well, what are these cards? They're not playing cards. And he said, well, these are tarot cards, but this is a little bit of a different kind of deck. There were 50 some cards in the deck. And it was, the Lenormand deck, I think. And so I asked him, well, can you like tell me what this is all about? Like, what do you use it for? And what is that? And he goes, well, after your shift, if you have some time, let's sit down and have a coffee together and I'll try to explain a little bit. And I got very excited, and it's like a door through a secret world of wisdom or intuition or whatever you want to call it. So I'm like, okay. And that day, actually, we met at the cafe that we had in the hotel. And so he just sat down with me for half an hour, 45 minutes, and just, explained the cards a little bit. And at the end of that, he actually gave me that deck. He said, your first deck should always be a gift. Now, I don't know if I really believe that or not, because I know that there are some readers who say, well, your first deck should always be a gift. So, if there is some kind of superstition about that, I guess I passed the test because my first deck was a gift to me. I put it on the shelf. I didn't really look at it so much. And some years passed. A friend of my mom who was very much into fortune telling, she found this person who was a tarot reader, and we just got together, 5, 6 friends of my mom's, and so she did some interesting tarot reading for me. And that's when I actually first saw the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And I got so spooked out of her reading that I just went out and bought myself immediately a tarot deck along with a book. So, and the rest is history, obviously. For the past, 30 some years now, I kept collecting cards. Every city, every country that I go to, I collect cards. I think I have cards in German, in French, in Portuguese, in Spanish, in the Czech language, in Turkish, in French, obviously in English, and in Italian, and so on and so forth. So this is fascinating to me. And so that's how I started. So I cannot really tell you that I am a psychic. I don't consider myself as a psychic, although I do get messages from my clients asking me, well, you keep saying that, but are you really sure you're not a psychic? Well, I don't really, talk to spirits, or I don't really, see things or hear things or whatever. Some readers do, and they are psychic mediums, psychic readers. So I guess there are maybe 2 different types of readers. Some readers are psychic also, and some readers like myself, I go with the intuition. Of course, I know the meanings and the different interpretations of the cards. And when I have a spread in front of me, I don't necessarily dwell on the meanings of the cards, like you see, Queen of Cups means this, that, upright, reverse, blah, blah, blah. I don't really think about that. I just see a story popping in my head and I just go with it. Basically, I call it my intuition. And maybe this is psychic, maybe this isn't, I do not know. Now, why am I doing this podcast? Well, I'm doing this podcast because, first of all, I know that there are so many hundreds and thousands of tarot readers, or, quote unquote, tarot readers out there. And it sort of frustrates me also. Sometimes people don't really understand what tarot should be used for. I don't use it, for example, what do I use tarot for? I use tarot for mainly guidance and advice for an existing, a specific problem. For example, you might have a relationship and you can ask the tarot cards what the challenges are, how you can overcome these challenges, and what can you do to overcome those challenges, and what kind of outcome, for example, you can expect, right? For example, I do, if you need to make a career decision, choice A versus choice B, what can you expect? And, or if you have a career goal, what are your challenges? What can you expect? And how can you overcome these challenges? So if you came to me and asked me, when will I meet my soulmate? And can you give the description of my soulmate? I can't. I know there are so many people out there that are doing that, but I'm not that kind of reader, unfortunately. And I don't say it's right or wrong. For my personal perspective, it is wrong. Tarot cards should not be used for random future predictions or to give physical descriptions and so on and so forth. I do see, for example, when I go to Etsy or other places, I will give you 20 random future predictions. Well, that's great. Maybe you are a psychic and you can do that and go for it. But tarot cards are not supposed to be used that way. So for that matter, sorry, you're gonna hear my dog and my cat also in the background. I have an old dog who has some health problems at the moment, and I have a cat. Her lunchtime is approaching, so she's getting a little bit nervous. Anyways, I'm not gonna keep this episode too long. So yes, what I was saying was I don't use tarot to give you random future predictions. For example, if you say, where will I be 5 years from now? Or will I be rich one day? Well, I cannot really answer that question. Will you be rich one day? Or maybe I can say, what can you do to be rich one day? Okay. Or where will I be 5 years from now? I don't know. You know why? Because the energies change. And I don't believe in some kind of fate that is written by some, divine being, and that fate cannot be changed. It's written, it's sealed, and that's it. I do not believe that, because as individuals, we all take actions, right? Every single action that we take impacts another person's actions, and this is all like a domino effect. Everybody's energy is connected to everybody else, and so therefore energies change, for that matter, and what is true today might not be true maybe 4 months from now. Also, if I give you some random future predictions, okay, so where will I meet my next, I don't know, person? But if all you do is sit down at home and not do anything to socialize and to meet that person, or if I give you some kind of career advice, or if I do some, career predictions or whatever, and then you sit at home and you just don't even send any applications anywhere, well, things are just not going to fall on your lap, okay? And you need to do something about it. And I cannot be held responsible if you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So therefore, I save myself some headache, and I just don't do these types of readings, basically. I always tell people I am much better at giving you advice and guidance. If you have an existing problem, if you have an existing person in your present or in your past, and if you have some blockages in your life, all right, I am the right person for you. Let's begin. How can I help you? Ask me your questions. The other thing that I want to mention is sometimes when people come and they have the yes no question, and they get extremely frustrated when they get a maybe answer. Well, actually, anybody can Google that, right? Some cards in tarot are maybe cards, like the moon card, for example, like the high priestess card. And well, why didn't you get a clarifier? Well, I can pull clarifiers until the cows come home, just to give you something that validates what you have in your mind or not validates it at all, right? But that is not the purpose of tarot. Tarot sometimes does not want to reveal the answers to you because you are not supposed to have that answer at this moment. And I cannot answer why you are not supposed to have that answer at this moment. I learned how to trust the cards, and I learned how not to doubt them, and I learned how to accept the answers that they give me. So if you are open to receive, tarot is the tarot is a tool to help you. But if you are looking for validation, don't get a reading from anyone, not just from me, but from anyone. Okay. I will go, obviously, in the future episodes, I will go into more detail about this. And for example, who should get a tarot reading, who should not get a tarot reading, and what kind of questions you can ask, and so on and so forth. So the purpose of this podcast also is a little bit of maybe getting people a little bit more accustomed with what tarot really is. And there are so many fake readers out there, and believe it or not, doing their readings on ChatGPT and sending people just the meaning of the cards, and it blows my mind. I mean, anybody can go on ChatGPT, pull some cards, and then tell the ChatGPT, hey, okay, I pulled these 4 cards, and my question is this. What is that? You can go and try for yourself. You'll just get like generic meaning of the cards and maybe just a little bit of comment on something, right? That is not what tarot is all about. That's why when I do my readings, I always record my voice. Never send anyone written readings. Never send anyone like a generic PDF file or so on and so forth. I always talk like I am right now. That's how I do my readings. And I have been doing this ever since, I started selling on Etsy and also on my website. So this is what I do. Another purpose of this podcast is to maybe get some questions from you. So if you listen to this podcast and if you have some question to ask, for example, I want to dedicate each podcast to one question from one listener. Obviously, if you do not mind having a public reading on my channel for your question, I can obviously, change your name when I record this and change the names of the people involved. But I can answer the question on that podcast just to see if people, just to show people how I do my readings, but also just to maybe help certain people who are willing to learn how to do readings and maybe how to interpret different card combinations, for example. And by listening to me interpreting some cards for some questions, they might also help. It might help them maybe do their readings. And so for that matter, I wanted to start this podcast. So I'm really looking forward to actually continuing. And my plan is to only have just one episode per week, at least, to begin with, to, I don't know, just to warm up a little bit. But who knows what the future holds, obviously. And maybe in the future, there might be 2 or 3 podcasts, who knows, maybe, in 1 week. So I am really looking forward to interacting with all of you. And thank you so much for tuning in, for listening. And please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you want to, keep up update it and to have to get readings. Also, you can contact me on my website, my personal website, and that's www.sashanoyantarot.com. You can see the information in the description also down below. And until next time, take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.